I love the way the First Gen Lounge makes me feel.
Because it creates a space where I belong.
Where we're able to create community.
The fact that it's a community.
It's a safe place.
It also gives me a place to understand different perspectives.
The stories of these individuals prescribe transformational perspective.
I receive encouragement, enlightenment, empowerment.
And also serve as a catalyst to just keep going.
Where we're able to be our true selves.
I'm allowed to be an unapologetic first gen.
And above all else, tell our story.
And every episode is unique.
I love it.
I'm your host, Dr. Eve, and I'd like to welcome you to the First Gen Lounge. Hey, welcome back. And if you are new, what's up with you? Glad to have you here. All right, so this is what's up this week. One of my sisters and I were talking, and she said something to me that triggered a memory of a situation from like way back. And I was thinking, I've never told this story. And it just seems fitting, this point in my life, for whatever reason, to tell this story, to share with you what had happened, but also what I learned from it. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it, right? When I was in grad school, Facebook and Twitter were hot. Okay, that's am I dating myself? Don't even worry about it. But Facebook and Twitter was where it's at. Those were two social media platforms. Like, there was no Instagram unless maybe it was a beta and I didn't know about it, right? And of the few, the two between like Facebook and Twitter, in my opinion, it was Facebook that was the one that was like popping. So there was one day when someone I knew had made a Facebook post and it tickled me. Like, I was hollering. I was like red in the face. It was so funny to me. And in the spirit of engagement, I went ahead and I commented on this post. It was a picture or something, maybe a meme. It was something, right? But it was commentable back then. You can comment, you can like. I think it was just like a like, right? So I put something like LOL, LMAO, I'm sick of you. That's what I said. So not soon after, I had gotten a notification. So clearly, like, this person that replied to me, let me go see what they said. Now, when I went to go look at her response, she was like, if I make you so sick, then you can get off my page. And I was like, okay. And before I knew it, we were no longer friends on Facebook. So this all happened like boom, boom, boom. And like boom, boom, boom. And I'm like, all right. Huh? What? Kind of had to clutch my pearls a little bit on this one because it really just threw me to the left, okay? Now, being someone who has a history of being a people pleaser, I can tell you that it bothered me so much that I could not figure out what happened, right? Like, it was all laughter. I mean, all I did was LOL, LMA off. So, I mean, I was clearly laughing, right? It was funny. So I'm thinking, of course, but I'm like, I'm sick of you. And we're going to talk about that I'm sick of you. Because like you said, I'm sick of you. There are some people listening to this that's like, I know what you're saying. And it's like new to others. So, okay, but we'll get to that. But anyway, later on, I went to ask one of our mutual acquaintances, what was going on with her and if everything was okay, because she had gotten mad at me for something I said on Facebook that, to me was totally innocent. So this mutual friend was like, girl, don't even trip, don't even pay it no mind. So I did eventually. I ain't gonna lie. Eventually, it took a little while. The crazy thing too is that when we always saw each other, it was love. We always spoke. It was like everything was all good. But at this point, she no longer even spoke to me. And so I was kind of like, dang, like sis is really mad about this. But how could she be so mad about it when all I've ever done was just show love? Like, I've always been a person to show love and celebrate people and whatever else. So I'm like, oh, okay. Well, again, let her have her space. And I'm for real when I say this, like, this is really all I did. I laughed and I was like, I'm sick of you, okay? I have told a number of people over the course of my life that they make me sick. It's an expression. And in conversation with others, especially when you think about like culturally, I wouldn't say that to anybody who I did not believe, like sincerely believe, understood the language, right? Understood the expression. Would never do that. Like, never. I'm just gonna put it that way. Like, I think about I would never be in an office setting with a particular boss, or I ain't gonna say a particular boss, but some people I've worked with before, just general, across the board, black, white, whatever, and say, I'm sick of you. There are some supervisors I'm like, girl, I'm sick of you. But again, the expression some people get. But anyway, like I said, nobody ever been offended. Not until this point. And so I say again, though, as a black person at this time of my life, I really didn't understand why she didn't get it. Yet, what I know now is very possible that she had never heard it before. She'd never come across that particular expression. It's possible, as hard as it was to believe, and as hard as sometimes still is to believe, like it happened, right? She could have also misread the message, and it could have been that it was just a bad day and it could have gone over her head. Like, there's so many things that could have happened that kept me wondering at the time. I mean, I said eventually I got over it, but the conversation again the other day just brought it back up as a dang, that did happen. But hindsight, here's what I learned. Here's what I took from it. The biggest lesson for me came from the fact that miscommunications happen, and it's not always because it's something that you did wrong. But sometimes other people are not going to understand where you're coming from. That they just may not. And in these cases, this is why I'd say that I do think it's our responsibility to do what we can to provide clarity. However, what this situation also helped me understand is that some people don't care to understand. They don't care to have clarity. They get what they get from an interaction and they be like, that's it, right? In that case, that's when you be like, all right, I'm going to just keep it moving too. Because sometimes we try to get people to get us and we wear ourselves out trying to get people to get us in miscommunications. The thing about communication is that it's two-way. So as much as I may have said something and it was miscommunicated or misunderstood even, I was responsible enough and willing enough again to provide clarity, but that person shut me out. So in that situation, I'm not even going to be pressed because it's going to be like, beating your head up against a brick wall kind of thing. Like, it just don't even make sense. Don't even make sense. Another thing that came to mind outside of this is something that my mom used to tell me all the time as a kid. And that thing was, she used to say, Denise, you have to remember that people ain't raised like you. She said all the time, people ain't raised like you. It's such a simple statement. But as an adult, it carries such a heavy punch and it makes more and more sense. Especially, with time, I understand it in just so many different ways. But anyway, at the end of the day, people understand and process things from their worldview based off of their life experiences, right? So as much as you can help it in situations, right, don't take things personal. Don't take them personal. Because you see things how you see things, and other people see things how they see things. And in both situations, you can say that there may be right and there may be wrong. It's up for the people in the situation to decide what that looks like for them. But if you don't see eye to eye, again, it's not because you're a bad person. It's not because you necessarily did anything wrong. It's just that you come from two different places. Now, working to resolve situations of miscommunication, and I'll say it again, it has to be mutual, as communication is mutual. And some people communication skills, well, just may not be there. Not yet. And that's okay. Don't be mad at them. Don't be mad at them. We all got to come to when we can come to. That's what I'm saying. But on that note, I'd always encourage you to do the best you can with what you got. Be it that it's with people, be it that it's with situations, whatever it is, just do the best you can with what you got. Because sometimes things are just going to happen that, like in this case, you don't see coming, right? But it is what it is, and that's just what it is. So in the meantime, I want you to know that I love you. Be good to yourself and everybody around you. And most importantly, I want you to keep pressing forward. I'm out. Peace.